One of the first guys was a kid named Carl Trinidad, who ran a 4:05 mile in high school, won the CIF. And since then, we've had quite a few others. Debbie Green, considered the all-time greatest setter in volleyball history, went to this school. Ryan Klesko played 13 years. Van Toonay played in the NFL. Richard Brown played in the NFL. Many of our young ladies have gone on to be the captain at the University of Notre Dame softball team, lead the NC2A in hitting at the University of Washington. And what we were going to do is we were making a Hall of Fame so that people in the future will look up and see these people and say, oh, I didn't realize that Mark Eaton went to school here. I didn't realize that Ryan Klesko went to school here. So, our students will have something to strive for that maybe they can make the Hall of Fame. And we're going to wrap that whole front out there with pictures from 1966 all the way up to the present. It's something that we've wanted to do, something that the alumni have wanted to do. We want to make sure that everybody realizes that Westminster has been the main point of this city in this area for many years, and we want to keep it that way. And at this time, it's my privilege to introduce our guest of honor, Mark Eaton. Mark, at this time, our coach has a presentation to make to you.
Thanks for being here, everybody. First off, about 15 years ago when Joe hired me, I was at the Westminster Mall and heard about the mall, and I really wanted to get over there and check it out. And I see Mr. Eaton here, and he didn't know this. So I'm walking, and it's right by the food court, and you were with a baby in a stroller, I thought. It was a little one, and you were kind of bending over, and I saw you, and I was like, that's Mark Eaton. I know who he is. He plays with a mailman, John Stockton, Jerry Sloan coach. And I wanted to go over real bad, and bug him. So I walked by, and he doesn't see me, and I kind of stop, and I'm in awe, and I'm like, that's Mark Eaton. Man, that's Mark Eaton. I can't believe this. And his waist was right here, and I was standing up. He was bending over. I left him alone. I kept watching TV, watching on TV, and then now we have the privilege of having this icon of a figure of Westminster, the city of Westminster, the community, and our organization here, our school. And it's a privilege for me to stand here in front of him, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous doing this. I thought I was tall, but we have something to present to you, Mark, and it's something that we think is special, needed. We need to commemorate you for everything you've done, MBA, and for kids, and somebody for myself who has a love and a passion for basketball. And we got you a jersey. We're going to show it off first. And we got you number 53 on it, Utah. It's a Nike. You guys are Nike then, right? No. Okay, good. And we're gonna display it in the gym for years and years and years to come, and we're proud to do that. And again, on behalf of everyone here, because you're a part of everything. If it wasn't for you, basketball wouldn't be the greatest sport in the world, and we wouldn't have somebody like Mark Eaton here with us tonight to celebrate it with us. Let's give Mark and his beautiful wife a round of applause. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Now, without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to our special guest.
Thank you. Well, thank you. It's great to be here this evening, and thank you so much for that great honor. And Boy, coming back here brings back a lot of memories, some good and some other. It was a long time ago when I was here. And I'd like to give you just a couple of thoughts this evening about a couple of things that I've learned along the way. And I think as I look back at my high school career, there were some things that were very positive. I played on the water polo team, and that was a lot of fun. But I can't say basketball was at the top of the list back then. In fact, my only memory from high school basketball was sitting at the end of the bench down there, and the coach looking down and saying, "Mark, Mark, Mark," and me jumping up. He said, "Give me some Gatorade." It was really not a very, I really didn't have that great of a time playing basketball because I was growing, I was very tall and pretty uncoordinated at the time. And I really, at the end of my senior year, thought, well, that was it for basketball. I wasn't that good, and it was time to just go on and do other things. And I think sometimes we get to a point in our life, we say, well, that door closed, and it's time to go do something else. So I went to Arizona and went to trade school, learned how to be an auto mechanic. And I moved back after a year here to Southern California. I actually got fired from my first job and wound up at the tire store up at Lincoln and Knott in Buena Park, and worked there for about a year and a half when a junior college coach from Cypress College came knocking on my door and started telling me he could teach me things about basketball that I didn't know. And you know what I told him? Go away. Because when you're 7'4", everybody tells you what they think you should be doing, right? You should be a basketball player. And I didn't like that idea. But over time, there was a little voice inside of me that kept saying, well, maybe I ought to think about this one more time. And after a period of about 2 months of him coming into my shop continually and harassing me, I said, okay, coach, I'll give you 30 minutes. You show me what you can tell me about basketball that I don't know. Well, he did. He showed me some basketball moves specifically designed for big guys, things that I didn't even know existed. And at that time at the outdoor basketball court up at Cypress College, something new started growing inside of me, and telling me, maybe you should try this one more time. So I began to work out with him, and over a period of a few months, I got a little bit better. And I said, all right, I'll give this a try for 1 year. And I went back to junior college, which turned into 2 years, which then turned into, let's go to UCLA now and really try and play the big time. And I ended up sitting on the bench again at UCLA. I thought it was a great decision to go there, and it was a great school, but I didn't play much. And my junior college coach kept telling me, you gotta keep working, you gotta keep working, you gotta keep working. And I really looked to me like the door was closed again, like maybe basketball was all done. And then a very interesting thing happened one afternoon at the men's gym at UCLA. I was running up and down the court one day, and I was trying to catch this little guard on our team named Rocket Rod Foster. And he was simply the fastest human being I have ever seen from one end of the court to the other. You know, and he's getting to the basket, and I'm still kind of here at half court. And I can't get this figured out. And I'm standing on the sidelines for a minute, and I'm kind of huffing and puffing and thinking, I don't know, maybe I can't play this game. And at that moment, a big old hand was placed on my shoulder, and I turned around, and it was Wilt Chamberlain, who was arguably one of the greatest basketball players who ever lived. You guys look up Wilt Chamberlain when you go home tonight, okay? And he said, you know, first thing he said to me was, big fella, you're never going to catch that man. And I said, thanks, Wilt, I already figured that out. But he said, more importantly, it's not your job. He said, come with me. He took me and he put me right under the basket. He said, you see this basket? He He said, your job is to stop players from getting there. Your job is to make them miss their shot, come up, get the ball up to the guard, let them go down the other end and score it, and your job is to cruise up to half court and see what's going on. I like that part. But he said, I've been watching you play and I see the skill you have at defense. This is what you need to concentrate on. And when he shared that with me, everything changed. I understood what I needed to do and what I could be great at. He showed me what my job was and how doing what I do would benefit my teammates. He showed me what I could be excellent at. And that little 5-minute conversation changed my life. That 5-minute conversation turned into 4 years later breaking the NBA record for the most blocked shots in a single season. It's a record that still stands today. That 5-minute conversation turned into a 12-year NBA career and a trip to the All-Star game and being named Defensive Player of the Year twice. But I think the moral of the story is that I was willing to listen. I was willing to understand that even though when doors were closed, that sometime when you feel the lowest, that's when the new opportunity is going to show up. And I was willing to pay attention to that little voice that said, maybe I had to take a look at this one more time. So as you think about going forward in your life and in your career, there's going to be ups and downs. But your willingness to listen to your mentors, pay attention to what people are telling you, and then execute is what's really going to take you to that next level. There was a lot of days I didn't want to go to the gym. There were a lot of days at UCLA when my coach just simply said, you got to be the first guy at practice and the last to leave. You got to do your running and do your shooting and go to the weight room, because if you do, I promise you'll have an opportunity to try out for an NBA team. And I didn't have a lot of success to lean on at that point. But I knew that my coach could see a little bit further than I could. And he gave me a game plan and I followed. I did what he asked me to do. So, pay attention to that little voice, consider who your mentors are, and pay attention to the people that you meet in life, because as anyone who's a little older here can tell you, it all comes full circle. Here I am, 35 years plus later, back at Westminster High School, being honored when I was here. I sat right down there at the end of the bench. High school is just the beginning. It's just the beginning of your dreams and your aspirations. You don't know what the journey is going to look like. But as long as you're willing to keep thinking there's something bigger out there, there's something else I need to be doing, and there's somebody who's going to come along and show me how to do it, I believe those people will show up. And they'll show you exactly what you need to do. Just like my coach, Tom, showed me what I needed to do. And my water polo coach is here at Westminster as well. So I'd like to thank you for this evening. It's been great being here with you, and I'm going to stick around and watch the game. And please come over and say hi. And on behalf of Terry and myself, thank you so much for this great honor. And Coach, appreciate it.
Let's give him a warm welcome. Mark Eaton, class of 75. All right, let's start the game then. Thank you, everybody.